Hello and welcome. Arthur Yusuf Tijani here once again for My Mission, My Vision talk show. Our topic for today is whether the rich is cruel. So the question is the rich cruel? Well, to the majority of people, the few people among us that are rich are seen to be very cruel. You know, most people, they say, the rich is really bad. They are wicked people. They don't support the poor and the needy and stuff like that. So, let me introduce you to my topic. Is the rich cruel? Okay. Like I said, many people regard rich people as cruel people. And I tell you why. You know, in a family, you have somebody who is a well-to-do person, and you have the rest of his relatives go to him for help, you know, for assistance to pay their bills, to pay their school fees, among others. And most often when you go, the rich man feels or the rich woman feels they are not ready to support you or give you their money for your bills. Is this really true or false when people say the rich is cruel? At the end of this video, or the objective of this video, is to let you know that the rich is not actually cruel, but just that the rich prioritize something that the poor or the needy does not. So my counter question to you is, why is the rich rich and the poor not? Okay, so what is the difference between the rich and the poor? Aren't they all human beings? Of course they are. The rich and the poor are both human beings. But why is the rich rich and the poor poor, or in the state that they are? All this comes to the various choices that these individuals make in life. Okay, so very soon I'll be introducing you to the uses of money that group people into being rich or being poor. All right, so the simple answer for this is that the rich is not cruel. Okay, just that the rich is very careful with the way they use their money. Okay, so to the rich, what matters is to accumulate assets and to keep on accumulating assets for more cash flow, or to ensure more cash flow. What they are trying to protect is that they are providing security for themselves, for their future, and for the future of their children to come. Okay, so what I mean is that the rich does not want the poor position for himself. He doesn't want to become poor like the beggar. Not just him, he does not want any of his offsprings or his children to become poor. And for that matter, they will always ensure more and more cash flow. So when there is an asset and there is a liability, the poor prioritize the acquisition of an asset instead of a liability. So if you are a family member who always comes to beg, you become a liability. And the rich does not pay attention to liabilities. Let's, for example, if you come to the rich for your school fees, and the rich has a car that needs some maintenance on the engine, okay, a car that he uses for transport business. Do you think the rich should give you the money for your school fees, or he should use the money on his assets or to maintain his asset to ensure more cash flow? Even if you are in his shoes, you will use the money on the asset maintenance so that your cash will continue to flow. This is why mostly you say that the rich is more concerned with their properties, they are concerned with their assets much more than their family members. No, they are not cruel, they are only securing their future, okay, against the position in which you are. So the rich is not that cruel, they prioritize the acquisition of assets. So let me just introduce you to the uses of money. The idea that I share with teachers when I go around teaching financial literacy or financial freedom for students and teachers. So let's look at the uses of money, all right? Okay, so the uses of money here are, number one, asset. Number two, liabilities. Number 3, staff. Okay, good. So these 3 things group people into the rich, the middle class, and the poor. Okay, there are a group of people who choose to buy stuff, and they are the poor people. Whenever stuff like used goods come from outside, the dump materials, you see them piled up, they line up, and they are using their savings, to just pick these things because they are cheap. They see cheap refrigerators, they see cheap furnitures, they see cheap clothing and all that. They keep on spending on these without the idea of accumulating some cash to obtain assets. But with people who have the right choices, concentrating on accumulating assets, instead of using their savings on those stuff, the used goods and materials, they will rather accumulate the money. Let's say they have 1,000 cedis. They think, what can they possibly buy and sell to ensure more cash flow, to make sure that they increase from 1,000 to 1,500, then to 2,000, and on and on and on. So instead of someone using money on staff, the person will use it to accumulate asset in order to sell and ensure cash flow. That is how come these people become rich, all right? So people who normally accumulate assets, they become rich because they ensure cash flow. And then the middle class people are the people who shrink. Why? They acquire liability instead of assets. Somebody has, money now today, and they think they are good to go. They are ready to enjoy life. They buy expensive stuff that will not even ensure any cash flow. Let's say they buy luxurious cars, they buy luxurious mobile phones and all that. The purpose of acquiring the phone is very positive. You can buy a phone for your activities, that is perfect. But some people buy expensive phones not to ensure cash flow. Let's say a mobile phone that can cost 6,000 cedis, all right? A mobile phone that can cost 6,000 cedis. Somebody uses money on this to acquire a mobile phone worth 6,000 cedis. And you ask whether the returns, that he makes on this mobile phone is up to 6,000. Is he using it for business? Is it for business purpose? No. Some of them, they have it for luxury. They have it to show off, to keep their prestige. Now, they are the middle class people. They buy these liabilities and they keep on spending on, social media by buying bundle data and a bundle and all that. Now, this keeps them shrinking, but they don't realize it. But at the end of the day, they see that their life is taking a U-turn. So these people are called the middle class. They think they are good to go, but they keep shrinking because they spend on liability instead of acquiring or accumulating assets. Now again, the rich is not cruel. Like I said earlier, the rich is not cruel. What the rich does is that they spend their money on asset accumulation, rather than give it to people they think they are liability to their lives. Now, if you are a needy person, consider the reason why you are not as rich as the rich man, instead of thinking the rich is cruel. Make the decisions that the rich make. Make the choices that the rich make, such as sleeping late, getting up early, not criticizing people, making sure that you set goals for yourself and you don't spend much time on the television, okay? So that you will also work hard towards your dream and then become rich. You don't blame people as cruel people because you are a person as well. Instead of blaming people and calling them cruel, start working on your own to become rich. Thank you all very much for joining me this time. Hope you like it. Share it for others to benefit.